Hi Flosstube, welcome back to my channel, MBC Stitcher. I'm Matt and this is Augie, and this is going to be Flosstube episode number 41, and today is Friday, March 11th, 2022. This is a YouTube channel where I talk about cross stitch, pretty much cross stitch, and then I also talk about books and media that I've consumed, but that'll be at the end, so you can go ahead and we'll talk about that later. So it's been a couple weeks since my last update, and I have a little bit of extra time this weekend on my own, so I'm trying to take advantage of that and get this recorded and hopefully up and out this weekend. It is we just had hopefully our last little snow whatever today for the season. And we've had snow in April before, but not very often and not likely. So hopefully this is, which it wasn't too bad. I still had to work and I drove into the office, which was not really that bad. And then it was all pretty much melted by this afternoon. So it was really not horrible at all. My understanding is other places had it a lot worse. So, but okay, so I have several things to go over. I have some haul, and then some books. So first of all, I do not have any finishes, nor do I have any fully finishes. So that streak of a couple videos where I was just finishing and FFOing has been broken. That's fine though. I do have a couple new starts that I did with the intention of doing March Madness. I have not posted any of those things. I probably will, but I'm kind of just doing it at my own pace versus following the actual prompt or the actual bracket. So we'll see. But first of all, I do want to talk about, the first thing I'm going to talk about is my pointed fifth piece, which this is from Long Dog Samplers. This is the pointed fifth. And I have been working on this quite a bit, so you can see that there's a little dangly, but it is what it is. So, situation. I was getting worried that my piece of fabric is not big enough. When I purchased it, I thought I purchased 36 count vintage country mocha, and when it arrived it seemed a little bit bigger, but it seemed like it didn't quite seem like 36 count, but I was like, I didn't count it, and I didn't check it, so I started it, and then as I've got further and further along, I'm like, I don't think this is going to be big. So when I got to this point, I decided to go ahead and count my way up. So I did that, and then I realized, so if I stitched it as charted, it would not fit on this piece of fabric. But I could eliminate rows, which would require me to both frog here and up, and then eliminate stuff up here. And then really kind of change the whole pattern. I don't know if I want to do that. I could fit it in with this tiny little bit of edge, which my understanding means it could still be framed, but I don't want to do that. So I have decided to not continue on with this particular version of it, and I will be restarting it at some point in the future. I'm not going to get rid of this. I will probably do something or try and get someone to do something with this, like put it on a project bag. I don't know. It's almost like a stocking. Maybe I'll make a stocking out of it. It's kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed working on this piece, and I was really happy with it until I realized, oh no, it's not going to work. Which, if you've been in that situation before, it's kind of, it's depressing. It has an effect, and I really haven't, like, the last time I posted anything on Instagram was this piece before I realized that. So it's also kind of why I've been a little, like, not really interested in posting stuff. But I am going to restart it. The other thing, I used a Silks For You rainbow color for the borders. If you've ever tried to use a variegated floss like that, like this one, where you have multiple colors that it's variegating through, the color pooling, which is, at least to me, that means like the way the colors pool on the fabric as I stitch it up, is not easy to deal with. There are elements of it. It's not straightforward. It's certainly not solid color stitching, and it's not even like some of the over dyes that are a lot more simple, or they just kind of go between two colors. It adds another level that, like, I feel like if I just stitch whatever, it's not going to really, there's going to be a lot of hard lines, and I didn't really want that. So I am also considering changing up my colors. So I'm not, and I have, well, when I discovered this, I got really annoyed and really frustrated, and so I spent money. Some of that is not arrived yet, but you will see some of it a little later. So I'm holding off on actually restarting, and so I am going to wait. Now this, well, long dog, work on a long dog for 5 days was one of my WIPCO goals for March. I got 4 days in with this and then realized, and then I didn't pick up that piece. Ew. One other piece that I did work on, I just realized I put it back on the shelf. So I'll probably just show it next time. You might see a clip, or I didn't do that. So I worked on another long dog. I worked on the new normal, which also, by the way, does have the error in Pattern Keeper, where if you, which I had to adjust, the way I had inputted the pattern into Pattern Keeper, where I said that there were 5 rows of overlap. When Pattern Keeper did its thing, it eliminated a row of stitching. And so I adjusted it, re-put it in, and did it at 4, but that gave some extra rows. It eliminated columns the first time. So I re-put it into Pattern Keeper, and then I marked off the extras so that I will not have to, so those are already done. So I won't get off on it when I do get back to it. So that's kind of it. The other thing that this really will impact, I mean, if I had been trying to finish this by next leap year, which would be in 2 years, just under 2 years now, the end of February. That's not likely to happen. Whatever I start, I mean, it would just require me to stitch so much that it's not likely to work. But I did pick a fabric, and that has arrived, so I will, I'm doing it. Also, it's still Vintage Country Mocha, but I ordered 40 count linen, and I'm gonna use 40 count linen instead of 30, well, this was 32 count linen. But that will also make it a little easier, and I can do 1 strand, which will also make it a little bit, make sure I'm being economical with my floss. So that one's out of the way. Let's get into a couple new starts. So first thing I started this time that I hadn't worked on recently, or well, it's a new start, is the Cardinal Biscornu from Tiny Modernist. So here's the pattern. It's this nice little Biscornu with these beautiful red cardinals, and then there's some a little bit of tree with some flowers, some little red, well, actually probably holly berries, and then some Christmas baubles or Christmas ornaments. And I'm doing it on a piece of toast Aida, which I believe is 16 count. And I've got this cardinal down here started. So the corner down there is where I'm at. I think it actually goes like this, but yeah, I've been enjoying this. I really do like this. I love this fabric, and I think everything's gonna at least look good on in person. Yeah. I think you can still see it, but it definitely, I think it'll look good. This needle minder I received from Zan Crazy Band Lady Stitches at the Steel City Stitchers Retreat. She's a table mate. She had that and just like, do you want this? And I said, yes, I do. I like snowflakes. So I started that one, and that was just about a day of working on it, or one night. So I will eventually post this with the, okay, Augie, you've stayed up here longer than normal. Mind if you, thank you. Eventually I will post it as a poll to, so you can vote on it, decide if this one advances or the next one piece. Well, let me just do the two new starts. So the other new start that I worked on is, nope, that's the old one. Nutcracker King by Satsuma Street. This is one of her ornament kits. It's done on perforated paper. I did one of the other Nutcrackers a couple years ago, and I purchased this one at the same time, and I have started it. So, just a little bit. I don't have a whole lot done, but I've got some of the white and the black done. This will eventually be something I will likely give to my mother. She loves nutcrackers, and I like giving her ornaments, so she will probably she will appreciate it, and she'll put it up on her tree. But the other one I did the same thing, so I would like to get that done for Christmas, and that's doable. So next up, I do not have a picture of this one, but my owl, my forest owl. This is, so it's a silhouette of an owl, which you can kind of see, like, this is kind of the, one of the wings goes out this way, one comes here, and then there's like the head here. And so I've been working on this part of it. It's like a forestscape kind of silhouette, and then yeah, so I've been working on the wing up this way, just some of the different, all of this is pretty much new. So I have been working on this. This is a 18 count, I think it might be 16, but it's an Aida dyed by B Stitch Me. It does not have a color name, or it doesn't have a current color name. This is a very old piece of hers that I purchased to make a Christmas present for somebody for Christmas 2019. So it's old. So I don't know. I think it might be close to Huntress, but that's, I don't know. So this, oh, one other thing. So this piece is part of my I'll Be Stitching Sal with Becca Sambry Stitches. This is what I started for that. I believe I think she still has the piece that she's still working on the piece that she started as well. So this is one of my March Madness pieces as well. So that will compete with one of my new starts. And then I also worked on the Pride Sal. Oh crap. Rastin is his name. So this is JJ Cross Stitch, which is their handle on Instagram. They are a husband and husband team. They have their Etsy shop is J&J Cross Stitch. But this is Bayard Rustin is the name of the person that this section is. Bayard was a major figure, leader, and organizer in the civil rights and gay rights movements. This is the second of the 8 Pride-themed mini portraits that they have released. They had everything designed last summer. This kind of started in Pride Month last summer. I'm trying to get this, well, I don't know if I'll get it done by the end of this Pride Month, but it's possible. I would just have to work on it more. So I worked on his portrait. So I did the border. I pretty much started this whole one, did all of this, worked on the background, and started working on his shirt. I'm doing this on 28 count 2/1/10 stitch. I did realize that I have had a slight error, made my pride flag a little bigger than it should be, so I had to adjust this a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's just like a couple stitches, but that'll work fine. And yeah, so once I get this portrait done, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. So it's still quite a bit, but and I think this is Neptune. I'm pretty sure this is Neptune by Be Stitch Me. It's a 28 count Lugana. And so, really, Augie, do you need to do the squeaker right now? Maybe something else? He's just looking at me like, how dare you tell me what to play with? So I apologize if you hear squeaks. He is very much into that toy. Now, not at all before. That toy has probably been on the ground in this room for months. And it likely received more attention from my boyfriend's dog, Charlie, than Augie has paid it in those months. But anyway, so he did get a squeaker out of another toy that's been in existence here for months last night, so maybe he's just going through a little phase. Okay, next up I have Cleo Catra. This is from Bendy Stitchy. This was one of her designs for the Spring Expo last year. And let's see, I do have a picture of the cover. So this is what she'll look like. And I've actually done quite a bit of work on her. It's not part of Stitchy Madness or anything. Or March Madness. She's my piece that I keep by me on the couch. It's not my it's one of my areas where I stitch, but especially when here, my boyfriend and I are watching TV or something, I will often be stitching there. And this is the piece I generally keep there because it's 14 count Ada and it's easy to work on. So this is how far I am. So what have I finished? I worked on the border, which I had to fudge a little bit, but it looks great. I did her staff. Worked on some of the back stitching on her, worked on this cartouche, did the gold. I need to finish up the beetle head and then do some more of the back stitching and then work on the border on this side. But it's essentially where I'm at. She's got quite a bit, I've done quite a bit, and I'll do some more. So I'm using the called for sulky on this. The gold, however, is DMC Diamant. This is probably my first time for extensively using that in a piece, and it's not the easiest, especially with this. I mean, I think short lengths are better. The other thing with this particular one, because I notice as I'm working it and I have to adjust my needle, where my needle was is kind of getting the shredding is happening, or the fraying of it. So it's kind of, that's been annoying to deal with. There's a Rebel Stitcher Designs needle minder here. Miss Vanjie is a drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race, which Colleen and I love. And this is on a piece of 14 count Aida that my friend Jessica printed with her inkjet printer. Jody has been doing a lot of printing of fabric. And so Jody of the Steel City Stitchers, but Jessica had this idea and it was great. She's doing this as well, and I'm really, I really enjoy working on it. I'm doing the sulky thread, I'm using 2 strands. Well, okay, I'm using a loop start method, so it's 2 strands. But on the 14 count, it looks great. I really enjoy it. Like, the coverage is amazing. It's really pretty. So yeah, I really love it. This is definitely gonna get done this year because it's just a nice, easy pattern to work on. Okay, next up, so my other March goal is to get an extra 2,500 stitches. My other March Whip Go goal is to get an extra 2,500 stitches on my full coverage pieces. I can do whatever piece I want to. I do have some like full coverages that I'm not counting towards this. So like the Naboo vintage travel poster, some other things that, although they are full coverages, what I'm talking about here are my big Heaven and Earth designs or some other big full coverage designer like that. So I have, for the most part, been working on Intimate Encounter since the last time I spoke with you. It's been a little slower this last 2 weeks. I have worked on it quite a bit, but it's also just been, I don't know. I'm also on a pretty big diagonal, and I've made a lot of progress. I think if I finish this diagonal, I will reach my goal. I'm already into my extra 2,500. So normal goal every month is to do 3,000 stitches. These are tent stitches. Hey, please stop that. You're being too loud. Apologize. So these are tent stitches. So that's about half as, it's more like 1,500 stitches than the actual 3,000, but I'm getting lots of progress. So I like doing the tent stitch, 2/1 on 28 count. So here is the artwork that it will look like eventually. This is the mock-up on Pattern Keeper. The artist is Sandra Santera. This is Hearn and Pan are the 2 subjects. And so I'm working down here in the hand, where the 2 hands are, right there. So, and I guess I'm starting to get some of Pan's hair, but that's just barely in this diagonal. So here's where I'm at. So I worked a lot of this, and then I'm kind of getting up here, and I should be able to reach all of this, but I definitely am gonna have to move the Q-snap on the next diagonal. So my other thought is, like, these diagonals are getting pretty big. And so what I have been doing is I work a diagonal and then I switch to a new project. But this diagonal is very large already, and the next one is gonna be even larger. So I'm thinking I work on the diagonal, and if I finish the diagonal, I move on to the next one. If it's been a week or 2 weeks and I haven't finished it, but I'm ready to move on, I just will move on. And I'll pick this back up when it comes back around. And so I'm kind of thinking that's where I'm at. I'm gonna work on this tonight, Friday, full coverage Fridays. I should make a good amount of progress tonight. So, but I think I will be taking this off of I will be switching to something else tomorrow. If I work on full coverage at all tomorrow, it may be something else. So, but it looks so good. I mean, it's really great. I really enjoy this piece. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So that's a really fun one to work on. It is easy guide. I don't know if that's showing up. So, and then somebody asked about these. So these are the bobbies. I bought them on Amazon. They are like flexible. I don't know. They're bobbins, but the top of it it's all plastic, but it'll like, you see it like that. So you can wrap it around and then you can close it down so it doesn't have that. Now I added magnets to mine. I had some pretty big magnets that I ordered off of Amazon. See, they're pretty big. So those work well for me, but I have really been enjoying using those. Okay, so that's all of the stitching that I have to show. I do have haul that I need to get going on because there's quite a bit of it. And yeah, that thing is going to be meeting the there it is. That dog toy is going to be meeting the trash later, I feel like, or at least quite a bit of the stuffing that is now all over the floor. Whoops. Okay. First of all, today I got in my market order from Abby Top Knot Stitcher. Augie. It's a little loud. I ordered a few things, 4 patterns from Market. So the first up is I ordered this Rosewood Manor. Folly Hill Sampler is the name of it. It's the parrot. I just really liked that. I'll probably do something. So one of the things that she did is she included, I think, several different borders to use if you want to. Like, you can change out some of the borders. Yeah, so you can do something different. I will also probably not do the letters, or if I do, I won't do the full alphabet, but I may just put in like some initials or something. And so, yeah, I really like this piece. It's charted in DMC and Rainbow Gallery. So yeah, quite a few colors, but it's a beautiful parrot, and yeah, I'd like to stitch that one. Okay, I had several people send me this, like, hey, did you see this came out? Yes, I did. But I really appreciate that. So I got the Corgi Caboodle from Plum Street Samplers, which is this love. It's just like the Polar Pack. Yeah, so it's, let's see, straight stitch mama's bottom lip with one strand. Oh, that's, yeah. So there's a picture of Gnocchi, which is, her old, okay, so Paulette put in the notes here. She designed these animal stacks, the different animal themed stacks that as she calls them. Her daughter came up with a corgi stack in honor of Gnocchi, who is I think Paulette's grand dog. And yeah, so I really enjoyed seeing this. I have several ideas for what I want to do with this, because it's 3 different corgis on here, and I have some ideas of who I want to stitch some corgis, some different ones in these. But I'm just looking really really excited for this one. It's just DMC. There's no there's no specialty floss. Ooh, excuse me. The called for is a piece of Fox and Rabbit fabric, which is up in the attic. So that would be nice. And then it does have a little bead. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing this. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Okay. I have several of her patterns, but I have not started any of them, nor have I finished any of them. But Brittany from Ingleside Imaginarium, who is on Etsy, she also, for the first time, is released physical charts, and she was at Market. So one of the ones that she released, which was, I believe, an exclusive to Market, is this griffin, which is called Parsons Griffin. And I believe it's, yeah, so you stitch it twice, and then you do it as a stand-up. You stitch it both, like, kind of facing each other, and then, yeah, so you have it both ways. So this is what it looks like. So it's one color, an outline, or, silhouette, and then it's a variegated red that she did. I have a beautiful red that would look great to do that with. And so, yeah, I would really like to do that as well. My last Market haul was this Biscore New pattern from Stars and Stripes. Little Stitch Girl is the designer. The title of the piece is Stars and Stripes Biscore New. I thought this was really pretty, and I wanted to do this. So you do it on black or dark fabric, and then it's like the fireworks and everything. So I would like to do that one. And then this was not from Market, but I did order it from Abby when I was getting everything else. I got the raccoon from the Year in the Woods. So that's the most recent one I think that's come out. And that's everything I got from Abby. Okay, so I ordered more fabric. I told you I ordered the 40 count Vintage Country Mocha. I'm not gonna take it out of the bag because it's pretty standard. I ordered this from crossstitchingsupplies.com, I believe. Yeah, crossstitchingsupplies.com. Lindsay. So I've ordered some fabric from her before. She was very quick. She was very nice. She sent it very quickly. I also got some needles. I needed some new ones. Aside from the 40 count Vintage Country Mocha, I also got this piece of 32 count Charcoal Lugana, which I like to use as an alternative to doing something on black. It's dark, but it's still very seeable. And then I also picked up this piece of 40 count Verdal, which is just white. So that was pretty much it from her. I have received my Color and Cotton thread of the month, which I am in the Thread Club Bright/Variegated. So it's 5 skeins. They are 8-yard skeins, and I'll go through them now. So this is Carnival, which is a nice like light purple into pink. Lemon Lime, which is here. Let's see if I can. It's kind of blowing out. So that better? Yeah. Well, yeah, lemon lime, green, yellow, jasmine, which is a dark purple, kind of like a plum purple. Well, not really. Imperial red, which is a nice bright red, and then jade, which is a lighter green. And those are lovely as well. I am also in the Bird Crush Club from Lindy Stitches, and I have so much stuff. This month was the broad-billed hummingbird. So Lindy had said she definitely wanted to do a hummingbird, and this is some of the pictures of the ones of the subject that she did. So the photograph is by Chris Gilbert, and then he also did there's a write-up. So this is another one of the photographs of the hummingbird, and then this is the pattern that Stephanie did. And then it comes with a variegated floss, and this is another Threadworks. I don't know that they're all going to be Threadworks, but the 3 so far definitely have been. And this is 11381 is the number. And I believe it's Seafoam. It's a really pretty, it's very pretty teal color. So yeah. And you also get some stickers. I don't know if the club is open or not, but there was a waiting list, and there may still be, or no, maybe, I don't know. Go check out Stephanie's, what's that called? Newsletter. I think she updates the information in there. So I'm also in Jody's Fabric of the Month from Steel City Stitchers, and Jody sent me some fabric. I got it, and then she also sent me another set, which was very nice of her. And this is 32 count linen. And so there's this nice green. It's a very pretty color, kind of carmety green. And then this pretty dusky gray color as well. Yeah. Some like purpley blues to it. And then the other pack is also 32 count linen, but it's an orange and a purple. So there's a lot of orange. This is very similar to the one I did Michael Myers on, so I think, yeah, that's bright orange. Which I have friends and family members from a very orange school, which was not mine, but I will put it to use. And then this beautiful plum burgundy purple. I love that. That's really pretty. Okay, so then, okay, I am part of Be Stitch Me's Fabric of the Month. I really love her stuff, and so I have been doing 36 count linen in the color option, and then I get the neutral in a 32 count Joblin. And then I also added the floss or the silk of the month, and you have some options. You can get like a pack of colors, and it has some like individual colors and then like a variegated one, or you can just do 2 25-yard skeins of variegated, and that's what I've been doing. And so this is the 2 that I got this month, which is Blissful, nice pretty color, and then Blossom, also a nice pretty color. And then Life's a Peach is the fabric, which is really pretty. Really like that. So it's peach, purples, pinks, fuchsia kind of color. And then Vanilla Latte is the neutral, which is, they're not always new colors, but this is one she's had for a while. And then this is the 32 count Lagana. So very subtle modeling, very just nice kind of neutral color. She did not do, or well, I think maybe she did do a Friday night fight night last month, and I didn't participate. I know I didn't participate. And then I think she also did some ready to ship fabrics, which I did see, and I did participate in that, which that is on her website. And so I got this 36 count linen of April Showers, which was a color she did last year, which is a beautiful light blue. I really like this color. I'm sure I have things that are similar to this already, but I was like, oh no, I need that. And then I also picked up a 40 count of Vanilla Latte in linen. So you can see it's a little darker than the Joblin. Has a little bit more of the cream to it than the Joblin looks like. Very pretty, very nice. Okay, and then, so she had some fabric grab bags and silk grab bags, and she also had some of her silks from prior months. So this is, I think, the one from a couple months ago, and I went ahead and picked it up. So this is Clover, Garden Party. Yeah, it's from the Garden Party month. It may have been November, December. Maybe it was January. Peaches, Moonshine, and Old Lace. Creamy color. And then she had like silk grab bags, which they're just in here. There's not names on any of these colors, but I got them and they're very pretty. This is a nice like rusty red. It's kind of like an olivey green, a light dusty green, purpley red, kind of beautiful color, light blue, purple variegated, teal, and then a green, another green. So, and then she had grab bags of ornament cut, well, I think, were they labeled ornaments? They were grab bags of fabric, and they are like smaller cuts, and they were by like, I got even weave. And so there's some, I think it's Lugana, this nice piece. Some of it is, I don't know if you can see that, it is opalescent, but that green, this is not Joblin, but that may be another Vanilla Latte. This light blue. This is probably Joblin. Yeah, I think so. A nice pretty color. That's almost like her. Different dyer, but very similar. Nice darker gray. It's a nice color. And then this one as well. So those are nice, really like beautiful colors, just little small ornament pieces. Like if I was gonna do something small, it would be very nice. It would be very nice to do it on one of those. So, and that's all my haul. You're like, Matt, why do you have so much all the time? Because I don't resist spending my money like I should at times. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have some other like stuff from her, from MBC Stitch Me ordered that she's like, I'm waiting on one of the boxes. Well, the spring box I think is the next one to come. Then there's like a space box, which would be coming. The summer box is available now. I have not purchased it. I'm not sure. I'm trying to decide what I want to do for it. I did not get the candy box that is also available. And then I did the woodland, the Year in the Woods fabric. So I ordered that and I'm waiting for that. That is probably, when I get that, I will be starting some of those because I would like to get those on the go. Okay, so what I have though, in terms, that's all the cross stitch and all the haul that I have to share. So the other thing that I want to show, well, that's all the cross stitch, but I want to talk about some books. So I'm going to get into that section now. I finished 2 books in the last 2 weeks, which is actually pretty good pace. I did have a work trip where I had to drive quite a bit, so that also helped. One of them probably wouldn't have finished it. Well, I probably would have finished it by the end of this week, but I got it done early this week. So let's start off with Shorefall, which is by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the sequel to Foundryside, which I read in the last, I think this year, or maybe the very end of last year. So not that long ago. It is so it's kind of like a steampunk world. It's not quite steampunk. It's not like the Aeronaut's Windlass or something like that. But it has like a magic system, but it feels very much more of like a steampunk element to it than a real, like a space science fiction. It's science fiction, but like it's a combination of science fiction and fantasy versus just science fiction or just fantasy. I really enjoyed it. Does keep you guessing a lot of like, so the first book, let me back up for a second. So like one thing I didn't enjoy as much in this one is there was, at times it felt like the author was doing something because they felt like that should be what's happening in the story versus that's actually what the story is going. Like at the beginning of the first book, there is a big heist that happens and kind of drives a lot of the action at the beginning. This one has something kind of similar to that, but it doesn't feel as natural. And it's kind of like, oh, did you just, because you need that in the first part of your book, do you feel like you need that? I don't know. It was very good. It had a lot of twists. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy the main character and all of her friends. They're essentially, this city is kind of pretty much in control of the world at this point because they have uncovered some ancient secrets of their magic science system, which they call scribing. Essentially, they convince objects to be that they are different than they actually are, and thus use that to create carriages that will drive themselves versus needing a horse. Essentially, they tell the wheel that it is rolling versus so it starts to roll. So instead of like something propelling or causing the wheel to roll, they have used scribing to convince the wheel that it is rolling, and then that it stops and different things like that. So it's a very broad aspect of what it is, but it's very interesting. This whole idea of scribing has been around before, and there is an ancient civilization that was kind of built around it, or aspects of it, then something and more than that, and that is something that they are having to deal with. This city has been in control of the world because they have been able to use scribing better than any other city, and most of the and it's been headed up by these 4 merchant houses, and so the main character and her friends exist outside of that world for the most part, and so it's kind of like them going against it. There's some aspects of it, like this book does end on a cliffhanger. Well, I guess, yeah, no, I mean, it sort of is. And you definitely want to know what's going to happen next. And so I'm looking forward to the final book in the trilogy, which should be out this summer. It's not really the style, but some of the story elements remind me of the Full Metal Alchemist manga or anime, more Brotherhood if you're going into the anime, but that story, there's some kind of elements of that to this. There's also I think that's pretty much it. I did enjoy it. I will be reading the final book in the trilogy. I would also enjoy another book from this author. The names in a lot of the main characters have a very Italian feel to it. It kind of makes it feel like it's Florence or Venice or something, or at least there's some elements of that to this. The city does have canals, so it kind of reminds me of Venice in some ways, but I don't know. It's a interesting setting and a very interesting world that takes you on. Okay, and then the second book that I finished is called Spelunking Through Hell, A Visitor's Guide to the Underworld. And this is the most recent book in the Encrypted series by Shannon McGuire. I have read, I think this is book 11. I've read all the other 10. So this series follows the lives of members of the Price Healy family for the most part. There's some, it just follow some in-laws and stuff as well, but the series generally follows them, some of their different children. And this book is from Alice Healy Price's point of view. And Alice is the grandmother of Antimony and Verity and Alex. I think that's the brother's name. I'm pretty sure that's Alex. And so, but it's set in the present time period. So this is not really a spoiler, but Alice has been on a quest to find her husband. who was stolen from her 50 years ago by an extra-dimensional entity or a thing called the Crossroads. And she has been kind of trying to find her husband in hell or wherever through all of these different efforts. And by doing that, she has been, a byproduct of that is that she has been getting younger, or, well, you kind of learn more about that whole thing in this, but she looks a lot younger than she is. So she's in her 80s, but she looks the age of her grandkids, or younger. She looks their late teens. And at this point, all of her grandkids are kind of, I think Antimony might be about that age, but everybody else is older. So it is, and it doesn't really take much place on Earth or really with many of the other characters that are really in the rest of the series, but there's a lot of reference to them, and you kind of, it builds on those stories anyway. I really enjoyed it. Some things that I was annoyed by. So I did it in the audiobook because that's mostly how I consume reading for fun. And some of this is probably because of the choice to do it in audio, I think it affected it. So the books are from different people's point of view. The narrator for this book is the same as it was for the books from Verity's point of view, from Antimony's point of view, and from Sarah's point of view. Sarah is their cousin, but not the granddaughter of Alice. She's related on the so Alice's son are her grandchildren's father. Sarah is related to their mother, so kind of an in-law. Sarah Zellaby. She's technically not really related to any of them, but she has been raised by the grandchildren's, Alex, Antimony, and Verity's other grandmother raised Sarah. But at the time period she was raised, she was about the same age as her grandkids. So they're kind of see themselves as cousins, even though technically Sarah would be their aunt. But they don't talk about that. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. So the narrator for all of the female books is the same. And I don't know that she has done I would really have liked it to have a different narrator, not because I don't like her, but the way she reads the main character for Antimony, Verity, Sarah, and now Alice is the same. And so, like, if you're reading a book and then you read the next one and it's from a different person's point of view and they sound the exact same, it's kind of, I didn't like that aspect of it. Even if it was a different accent or something. I mean, I don't know that the siblings would have much of a different accent, and Alice probably doesn't either, but it would be nice to have some, differentiation between the four of them. The other thing is that this is more, I noticed it with this book and with Alice. She has a tendency to think things, and I can't tell from just listening to it if she's saying that in her head or she's talking to somebody, and it's unclear. But of course, if I was reading it, I would see the quotes and I would know, oh, she's saying that versus I'm just thinking that in my head. She also has the trait of she says a lot of things that you probably should not say out loud, but so that also made it harder to figure that out. But I really enjoyed this story. It was very interesting to see a whole new aspect of this world that Shonen has created. And I think I definitely read another book from Alice's point of view. And it just it opened up a whole new thing. It's not really like hell. She's not going to hell. I think she's been there, but she's going through different dimensions and going to different worlds. And that's really interesting. So those are the books that I have read. The other thing that I wanted to talk about were some TV shows that I have recently been watching. So I have been catching up on, and it's not done yet. I think there's a few more episodes, but Star Trek Discovery, which is on Paramount Plus. It is the 4th season of the Star Trek series that kind of restarted this new version of Star Trek. It is, I really enjoy it. I'm very, I have been watching it. Now, I watched the first episode of the 4th season when it came out, and then I just kind of wasn't paying attention to it. So I'm back to watching it more, and I think I'm in episode 7 or 8 now. So I'm still behind. I still am catching up, but I'm really enjoying it. So I would recommend that. Star Trek Picard restarted, and there have been 2 episodes. I've watched both of those. It's really great too. I like that show. So I'm really happy with the current version of Star Trek. Strange New Worlds is going to be starting soon, which has Christopher Pike, and who was in the 2nd season of Star Trek Discovery, and it's kind of more of like an offshoot from there. I really like that. I think I talked about this last time, but perhaps not. I have also watched The Gilded Age, and I'm caught up on that one. That is available on HBO. It is the creator of Downton Abbey is behind this as well, Julian Fellows, and it is set in New York in the 1880s. Excuse me, I keep yawning. I apologize if that's causing anybody else to yawn. It's a really good series as well. I have really enjoyed Christine Baranski in it. Several other actors and actors are really interesting. It is I really love the character of Peggy Scott, and her storyline is really interesting. Or is it I may have, Miss Scott is really interesting. Is Peggy? I forget her first name. It's back then they didn't call the use of the names is not sticking with me as much. But the Van Rhines it's essentially the old money and new money of New York. There's an established class of aristocrats such as the Van Rhines, and then there is a new group of people that are coming into with lots of money, including the Russells, who have just built this ostentatious place on 5th Avenue, and it is gorgeous and huge and beautiful, and they are trying to get into the society and become part of that. George Russell is a banking and railroad magnate that is made a lot of money, and he is trying to do that. He has 2 children, a son who is graduated from Harvard now and is trying to get into the business, but he has other aspirations. He has a younger daughter, Gladys, who has not been come out into society yet, and so they are working on that. And his wife Bertha is managing the house and really trying to get them into society. So versus their neighbors are the Van Rhines, which are a widow and her sister, spinster sister, which the sister is played by Christine Baranski. No, sorry, Cynthia Nixon. The widow is played by Christine Baranski. They have a niece that comes to live with them after their brother dies. Christine's character also has a son that is really not he's kind of my least favorite character, but I really have no attachment to him and do not like him in any way. But yeah, it's a really interesting show, and I really am enjoying it. It's so compared to like Downton Abbey, where there's clearly like the storylines for the Crawleys, the upstairs, and then their staff. There is some of that here, but there's much more of the upstairs, new money, old money, and then some stuff with the servants. Miss Scott, who is a Black woman that is educated and actually comes from a very successful Black family that has servants and has a very nice house in Brooklyn, and she wants to be a writer, and so she kind of falls into this position of becoming a secretary for Mrs. Van Ryn, and then she's trying to figure out how she can become a writer and support herself that way, which is very nice. I really enjoy the show. It's very good. It's a little slow at first, but it's definitely picking up, and it's being a lot more. I'm looking forward to it every week. I didn't start it when it was first out. I think I watched the first 4 or 5 episodes together or relatively quickly, but those are good. So I think that's pretty much it. We're under an hour and 10 minutes, so that's good. And then I think my little clicker is under the pile of stuff. So thank you for coming. I should have done this earlier. Thank you for everything, for coming back and watching my video, leaving me likes and comments and subscribing. I really appreciate all of that. Thank you for sending me messages on Instagram and commenting on my stuff there when I post. So I really appreciate all of you. Please enjoy your stitching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.